What is up, people on the internet? JQL here, back from another video. Today's video, I'm doing a custom LEGO video on my custom LEGO minifigures from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, I'm really excited for this movie, and although I'm recording this before the movie's even released, I'm still really excited for it, and maybe I'm, jumping the gun a little bit, and I could have taken my time with these figures a little more. But honestly, I just want to get them out there, so that way you guys have a video, because, a more exciting video, if you guys know what I mean, because, yeah. Anyway, here I have Ant-Man and the Wasp in their outfits that they are wearing in Ant-Man and the Wasp, obviously, and maybe an Infinity War? I don't know if there's going to be an Infinity War at all. So, yeah. Anyway, here they are. So let's just get started with this video. Alright, starting off here with Ant-Man in his new suit. Now, this is his third suit that he wears in the MCU, and it's definitely my favorite, personally. I just like the details you see here, and I just like the overall design of the suit. Now, comparing it to my previous two suits, my first suit, it's a huge step up, honestly, and the reason why is because the helmet is a lot better than the previous two helmets, in my opinion, and the paint job is just a lot cleaner, and I included way more 3D elements that I'm included on this figure and not the other two figures. And yeah, I'm really proud of this figure. Anyway, onto the helmet. The helmet is basically a Ant-Man helmet from the LEGO group that I filled in the mouth area, and I also sculpted on the antennas. Originally I sanded off the antennas entirely, and then I had to sculpt on the antennas, so that was pretty challenging, but definitely worth it, because these antennas look a lot more accurate than the LEGO group's antennas that they had on the helmet. I mean, it was intentionally for the original Ant-Man movie, but, I just had to make do with what I had. Anyway, I also painted it on all the details you see here. I filled in the eyes with metallic red paint, because I couldn't have the eyes showing, because, I mean, even if I did leave the translucent red eyes there, that you still could barely see anyway. So I decided to add detail there, and, it just looks a lot better. And, yeah. Moving on to the arms. The arms have their share of sculpted details. I sculpted the top of the arms, the shoulder areas, and I also sculpted the bracelets there, you see there. Also painted them. I also painted on the buttons, which apparently I didn't do with my previous version. That's what someone told me, but I don't remember. So anyway, onto the torso. It's probably the cleanest torso I've painted in a long time, and one of the most detailed, because I even included dark red details in there, and it turned out really great. Apparently, the torso is supposed to look like an ant face, and I can kind of see it from photos I saw on Instagram, but at the same time, I doubt that's what they were intentionally trying to go for. Anyway, yeah, the belt is also sculpted, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to include, this earlier. I sculpt out of using Procreate, so, yeah, if you guys wanted to know that, then there you go. I also sculpted the back right there, the little, I forgot what it's called, I forget the name, anyway. I'm just gonna move on. The legs are fully painted, so that's cool. They also turned out pretty clean. It's probably the cleanest paint job on a figure I've had in a long time. And yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this figure. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention. If you remove the helmet, he has a black head. That's because I painted a separate head for him, and here it is. There's Scott Lang head. It's not my best painted head, but I think it works well enough to represent Paul Rudd, in my opinion. And I gave him the sleepy hairpiece because that's pretty accurate to his hairstyle. And if I give you one 360 look with his head, there you go. I'm pretty happy with it. I probably could have done the mouth a little better, but everything else I think is fine. So, anyway, now let's move on to the next figure. And surprise, you guys probably thought I was moving on to the Wasp, but no, we are moving on to Mini Ant-Man, the Microfig version of Ant-Man. Man, this figure is actually, oh my gosh. This figure actually took a lot longer than you guys would think. I mean, some of you might. If you guys know from painting micro figures, it's a pain in the butt. And compared to my Atom micro figure I made for the CW Atom figure, this one's, one, it's better, and two, it took longer to make. Anyway, let's start off with the head. The head, I didn't want it to be, just a standard microfig look. I wanted to actually have the antennas there, but I kind of regretted that decision, because while making it, I kind of regretted it, but I knew I couldn't go back, so, yeah, I also sculpted the mouthpiece you see right there. That was a little tiny bit of Procreate. I also cut off the stud and filled it in with Procreate on the top of the head, so that turned out pretty great. The torso fully painted, the arms are painted as well, and I think this is probably the best microfig I've ever made, and even though it's my second one, it's definitely the best. I also sculpted on the little back thing right there. I still can't think of the name, but yeah, this is probably the most detailed figure I've made, or microfigure, and I'm really happy with it. Now we move on to the Wasp. Alright, here is the Wasp. The Wasp, man, this figure was actually not that hard as you guys think. The only hard part, what I would say, would be the wings, and it kind of looks like the wings are blended in with my background, but they're not. Anyway, let's start off with the helmet. The helmet was originally a AntMan helmet, but I realized the antennas they're actually in a different position, so that's kind of weird, so I had to reposition them, and that was when I sculpted them, and it was a little tedious, but I managed to do it, and I think it turned out, it's not exactly, you know, great, but, you know, I think it works for the most part. Anyway, I also cut the gap between the two eyes, like on this AntMan figure, there's a little gap right there in between the eyes, and so I cut that out, because her visor is actually one visor, so there's nothing separating it, so I had to cut it out and then paint it in, and I think it turned out really great. I also painted on all the details you see on the helmet, and like AntMan, she has a black head underneath it. The reason why I don't have the heads underneath it is because they're painted. Well, I mean, this one isn't painted, but I thought I'd do it because AntMan's face was painted, and I didn't want the helmet to scrape off the paint. So yeah, I just did that. And also, like, I didn't want to paint their necks, so that way it looks better. See, since the neck's black, it just blends in with the figure more rather than having a flesh neck in there. Anyway, this is the Wasp face. I took the hairpiece off my Jessie Quick figure. Excuse me. Because she wasn't going to need it anymore, because I kind of hate the CW now, because it kind of sucks. So I decided to take it off and give her this Tarael face. This is a Tarael face from The Hobbit. I just erased off the freckles and the cheekbones, and yeah, it turned out pretty great, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, anyway, onto the arms. The arms also have sculpted bits on the shoulders. I also sculpted her blasters you see on her arms. And the torso is a curved torso, custom curved torso. I painted the torso. It's entirely painted. And one thing that someone told me, Wavy Film said that it was gunmetal, and I saw gold, and we kind of disagreed on that. But overall, I decided to just go with gold because, one, I think it just fits the character, because she's always yellow in the comics, so it's just natural for her to be gold. And two, yes, I do see some gunmetal in certain images. I actually do agree with him. Some images they do have. It does look like her suit is gunmetal, but I decided in the end, it just looks more recognizable gold. And in certain images, it does look gold. So I decided to go with a darker gold, just that way the figure looks, presentable, and it looks good enough for me, as long as I'm satisfied. So yeah, that's one thing I had to point out. And the legs, fully painted, not a lot of detail there. And yeah, anyway, the wings, originally, if you can tell by the thumbnail, the wings look a lot different. And originally, that thumbnail was made a long time ago. And then I thought, at the time I made that thumbnail, I didn't know what I was going to do for the wings. Originally, I thought I wasn't going to have her with the wings at all. And that's kind of what I was about to do. But then I thought, I looked at my thumbnail again, and I was like, oh wait, I can make wings out of, like, plastic. And then I ended up using, hang on, if I can grab it. Oh wait, no, I can't grab it. Okay. I had to grab it. I ended up using the ant wings from the AntMan set a long time ago. I could have used, like, action figure plastic like Ross did with his Falcon wings, but I decided to go with the ant wings, and the reason why there's a brown painted line right there is just because on this side there was a brown line, so I decided to make it even. So that's the only reason why it's there. But anyway, yeah, that's what I did for the wings, and yeah, it was really hard putting this on, so I ended up having to, you can't even see the back of the torso, which kind of annoys me, but honestly, the wing, it needed to be sacrificed for the wings. I just put Procreate over the wings and stuck it on the back, and with layers of super glue, and man, the wings were a nightmare. I didn't like you know, the process of it. But overall, the figure turned out good, so I'm alright with it. Now, before I close off this segment, I didn't make a microfig for the Wasp. The reason why is because, one, after making the microfig for AntMan, I didn't want to, and two, I just, I didn't have another microfig, so yeah, so those are my excuses. You guys might think those are bad excuses just to buy one or whatever, but, you know, honestly, I just didn't want to. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the Wasp, and now we can conclude this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, and if you guys like the figures you see in this video, and if you're excited for AntMan and the Wasp, make sure to give this video a like. Also, if you guys like what you see here, and you want to see more custom LEGO minifigures from me in the future, or right now, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, because I already have figures from, like, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and also other types of genres, made into custom minifigures on my channel already, and you guys can just look through my channel and find those videos there. Also, like, if you guys want to see more figures from me on YouTube and you want to get notified when I do make them, you know, staying subscribed also helps with that. And, yeah, if you guys want to see figures earlier, however, I do post them on my social media sites before I post them on YouTube. So, if you guys want to see them earlier, make sure to follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, and Flickr. All three links are in the description below. And, yeah, I'm also way more active there than I am on my YouTube, so, yeah. That's also something to keep in mind. Anyway, AntMan and the Wasp, really excited for the movie, and yeah, really happy with these figures I made. Some people might disagree with the Wasp, but honestly, I'm okay with that, because the Wasp was a pain in the butt to make, so honestly, I'm just glad to be over, that making her is over, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever or whatever video that'll be, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.